Every Monday, everybody, my name is Brandon Rosa, and welcome to episode 340 of the Xbox in 10 podcast, your weekly source of Xbox gaming news covered in around 10 minutes. Every Monday, this podcast covers new game releases, the previous week's gaming news, and we all learn an Xbox-related fun fact together. The show is on YouTube and podcast services around the world, so please subscribe in your favorite and leave a review. To start, let's talk game releases. There were no big games out last week, but the games coming out this week include Crime Simulator, Marvel Cosmic Invasion, Brock the Brawl Bar, Cute Bonfire, Slime Boo, Dungeons and Ducklings, Robo Hero, Winterlight Where Silence Says It All, Baseless, Blood Refresh Supply, Octopath Traveler 0, Routine, Resetna, Detective Rainy Night, Sophia's Animal Clinic Mission Wildlife Park, Mouse, Mist Evolution, Pixapple Adventure, Sacrifice for Sale, Stacky Dash, The Mechanic Simulator Reinforced, The Phantom, and Rhythm Doctor. Now into last week's biggest news stories, and during the Thanksgiving break holiday week. It was a slow news week, but we have four to cover. Number one, they didn't plan at all. Xbox reportedly warning of yet another potential price increase. Andy Robinson of Video Games Chronicle writes, global RAM prices could reportedly trigger another wave of price hikes for Xbox consoles. That's according to Moore's Law is Dead, which claims that Microsoft sales reps have already warned that the sharp increase in component costs could soon affect Xbox Series X and S. DRAM contract prices have reportedly increased over 170% year over year, driven by a huge agreement signed by Samsung and SK in October, which will supply OpenAI with nearly half of the world's DRAM output for its Stargate data centers. According to Moore's Law is Dead sources, the resulting price hikes and shortages have left companies without a large stock of components, reportedly including Microsoft. Quote, they didn't plan ahead at all, unquote, said host Tom. Quote, if you still want an Xbox for some reason at the current pricing, those prices could go up soon, or supply could just entirely dry up, because multiple sources of mine have apparently been warned by sales reps at Microsoft that this is going to affect the Xbox Series consoles very, very soon, sooner rather than later, end quote. According to Moore's Law is Dead, PlayStation is less likely to be affected by the DRAM price increases. Quote, believe it or not, PlayStation, from what I've heard, Sony planned ahead, bought up gobs of RAM near the bottom of the pricing, and thus they should be fine for months. They have plenty of GDDR6, at least that's what I'm told, end quote. Currently, PS5 retails for $500 to $550, with PS Pro retailing for $750, and Xbox Series X starting from $600. Both platform holders have raised prices this year. Microsoft announced back in May that it was increasing the prices of its consoles globally, including increasing the price of Xbox Series X and S consoles in the US by $180 respectively. Then in September, Xbox raised prices even further, but only in the United States due to changes in the macroeconomic environment. Both the 512GB and 1TB models of the Xbox Series S saw $20 increases on top of the $80 increases they received in May, while the Xbox Series X and Xbox Series X Digital had their prices raised a further $50. What an awful timeline that we live in, that the absolute cheapest a console was going to be was at launch. That is not how prior generations went, and this is going to further decrease any hardware sales for Xbox if these prices go up again. What is going on? Number two, Control could show up at the Game Awards following new Remedy trademark. Ben Carey at Pure Xbox writes, the Game Awards is coming up just a few weeks here on December 11th, which means we're probably going to start seeing hints at what might crop up at the show in the near future. Earlier this week, we had our first confirmed reveal in the form of Exodus, and now a new trademark suggests that developer Remedy might make an appearance as well. As spotted by MP First, representatives of Remedy, known here as Nordea Attorneys at Law, have filed a trademark for something called Control Resonant. At this time, we don't know anything about the subtitle, but folks are beginning to speculate that it could refer to either Control 2 or a potential Control TV show, both of which have been announced in recent years. In terms of what we're most interested in here is a full-blown Control 2. Remedy announced to investors last year that its Control sequel is now in playable form, so there's every chance that the team is now ready to show off what it's been working on, alongside FBC Firebreak. Details on the TV show are specifically a little more scarce right now. Either way, this has certainly piqued our interest for the Game Awards this year. Following this week's first showcase reveal, here's hoping we see something big from the Finnish studio. We are buzzing to see what's next for them following the fantastic Alan Wake 2 in 2023. Control 2, I am interested in this. 2 years ago, I went through the Alan Wake Controlaverse by playing Alan Wake, the Xbox 360 DLC, Alan Wake 2, and Control, and I really enjoyed my time in that world. Can't wait to see what Remedy has in store for us. Number 3, Capcom is reportedly working on a new Dead Rising sequel starring Frank West. Andy Robinson at VGC writes, Capcom is working on a new Dead Rising game. That's according to a new report from MP First, which VGC can partially corroborate via our own sources, which claims that an in-development zombie action sequel will also see a return of original protagonist Frank West. The project in question won't be a remaster or remake, but a new main entry in the series, the publication claims. It said that the new Dead Rising will see West head to Hollywood, with action primarily taking place within a massive enclosed movie studio lot, where the game's main villain forces Frank and other survivors into various trials, all in the pursuit of filming his perfect movie. The timing aligns with a recent remaster of the original Dead Rising game, which was released last year with improved visuals, revamped controls, and quality of life improvements. Capcom has said it's working on, quote, reactivating dormant IPs, end quote, following the announcements of Onimusha and Okami sequels last year. It also asked fans what franchises they wanted to see return via a survey. This is dope. I remember how special that first game was on the 360 when it launched. I couldn't believe all that you can do. It was like one of my favorite movies, Dawn of the Dead, come to life in video game form. It'll be interesting to see what this is, and I think they absolutely nailed how to bring back that mall vibe in a movie studio. The possibilities are endless. And number 4, Splitgate 2 relaunches on Xbox in December following bizarre release reversal. Ben Carey at Pure Xbox writes, It's been a bit of a saga with Splitgate 2, hasn't it? Following the game's full release back in May, developer 1047 Games bizarrely reversed that decision and took the game back into beta just 2 months later. And well, that's all behind them now as the game plots another 1.0 launch. Yep, talking to social media this week, the developer has announced that Splitgate 2's beta version will shut down on December 4th, 2025, before a full relaunch arrives later in December. The team hasn't committed to an exact launch date for the full version of Splitgate 2 just yet. The beta servers will go offline on December 4th, before the game comes back up again later in the month. Here's hoping to the full relaunch date comes sooner rather than later, especially with the game having some considerable downtime on the way. Hopping all the way back to 2021 for a moment, the first Splitgate surprised many of us with its solid shooting mechanics and inventive Portal-like twist on proceedings. But we can't say that the sequel has us quite excited as much just yet. Splitgate, another special game. When that first launched, it just didn't do much for me. That was at a time where I wasn't looking for another competitive shooter. But I do think the combat and gameplay is quite well, and that Portal-esque gunplay is a special idea. As always, we end our show with a fun fact about Xbox, and this one is just more of a news story, but a fact this week. As I am a fan of cloud gaming, did you know how much it is increased from this time last year? Well, according to Xbox Wire, they have seen a 45% increase in usage since this time last year. Now, yes, they have brought it to other markets throughout the year, including India, which has been a big one for them, but it's cool to see more and more people playing it this way. I've personally played on my Logitech G Cloud and MetaQuest 3 multiple times. Thank you all for listening to the Xbox in 10 podcast, your weekly source of Xbox gaming news covered in around 10 minutes. If you like the show, please subscribe on your favorite podcast service, share with your friends, leave a review, and follow on all social media at Xbox in 10. This past week, I did buy a brand new gaming PC as my little Black Friday cheat. A nice NVIDIA RTX 5080 beast. And I've only really gotten to check out Arc Raiders, but that's fine by me because I cannot stop playing this game. My name is Brandon Rose. You can follow me on Xbox Rosa93. Hope you all have a great week. Stay safe and keep on gaming.